Hi everyone. Uh, Please first excuse my coronavirus facial hair. I'm not changing my look, I'm just giving my skin a chance to rest a little bit. Last time we spoke, I mentioned the wisdom and power to be found in literature, beyond the business books and scientific journals that many of us read to try and find answers to today's problems. While these days I tend to avoid Russian literature because I find it a little bit too serious and pessimistic about the world, and right now I think some optimism is what's required. There is no doubt that Russia has produced some of the greatest novels in history, and near the top of that list is Anna Karenina by Leo Tolstoy. For today, though, I'm not going to talk about the plot, which manages to hold your attention through 800 plus pages. I'm only going to talk about the first line of the book, which for me ranks not only amongst the greatest openings of any book, but also holds within it a depth of understanding of the world that is often sorely lacking in business thinking today. It begins: all happy families are alike. Each unhappy family is unhappy in its own way. Now, what does this mean? While in the book the concept is explored in depth in the context of late 19th century Imperial Russia, for me, the power of that phrase rings just as true today and in the business world. I see it as a clear warning against this belief that what worked well for someone else in another part of the world will work just as well for me with no adjustment. I can just copy and paste. I'd probably call that the tyranny of best practice. It is at its most damaging when ideas are taken out of context and transplanted into a different culture, either corporate or national, and expected to achieve exactly the same results. While success looks mostly the same from company to company and from country to country, usually assessed by share price and dividends, the challenges that Alibaba faced in its growth were not the same as those faced by eBay. And to try and transplant a Silicon Valley model of business and leadership into a small factory in southern China or a home industry in India is not only lacking in empathy, but is likely to result in failure. While there's always something useful to be found in what others have done, and one should always do one's best to learn from the lessons of others, these lessons should always be understood in the context and adjusted to the circumstances and culture you are in. A great modern example can be seen in the recent documentary American Factory, which is the first documentary produced by Barack and Michelle Obama's production company and won an Academy Award, an Oscar, for Best Documentary. It's about a Chinese billionaire who opens a factory in Ohio and expects the same type of culture and behavior from American workers as he gets from his Chinese workforce, only to be sadly disappointed. I would highly recommend this. It's on Netflix. So, my final thought is to solve problems effectively, try and look at the uniqueness of your situation. And while taking into account what people have done in other places and other times, try and search for a solution that suits you and your people most appropriately. Look forward to talking to you again.